Welcome to another episode of the Over and Under podcast with yours truly, Charles and James. James, how are you doing today?
What's up? I'm doing well. Just here.
We're here, we're living. We got a lot to talk about. What an electric first week of college football. We had some good teams. We had some teams that got propped up that are absolutely in the gutter already. Some freshmen that came to play, some seniors that did not come to play that didn't look well, some coaches that are on the hot seat, and some coaches that might get some extensions. So we got a lot to talk about. James, how was your experience watching all this Saturday since I was at work?
It was cool. Like I didn't watch it like how I wanted to watch it. Like I was planning on getting a few drinks in me, just chilling out and watching it. But I just threw it on. And I was betting while before like maybe 5 minutes before the game started and stuff because I got a late start to the day. And then I got a free trial for YouTube TV because I was still not sure which one I want to use. Is Hulu TV or YouTube TV. So I was like, I'll try YouTube TV this weekend and see how I feel about it. So I did that real quick, and it had the four screens, kind of like that. I don't know if Hulu does that or not. After that, it was cool. It doesn't? No?
No.
Sheesh.
How much is YouTube TV?
72, I believe. Right now they have a deal for like 4 months. You get $8 off. I mean, it's not much, but I don't know. Still,
What a scam! $8 off.
That's what I said. Say $8. That's it. But
What a scam!
it was cool. I just watched what I could watch, and then I fell asleep for a minute, and then woke up to you hitting up my line with about this. I think what game was it? Virginia Tech, I think, or whatever. And I said, "Oh, I'm missing shit," and I got back into it, but it was cool.
Good, man. I'm glad you had a good experience. I was at work trying my best to catch the games and see all the highlights and stay in the loop. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. So first, I'm going to ask you, who was the best team in each conference that you watched on Saturday? I'll go ahead and go first. For me, on the ACC, I got Miami. What about you?
Miami as well. Yeah.
Miami? All right.
Yeah, they look crazy.
For the SEC, who do you have?
I'm gonna go Ole Miss. I mean, they didn't play anybody, but they put up 70 points, so I'm going Ole Miss.
No, I'm going Georgia. The Bulldogs look absolutely crazy.
At the beginning they didn't look super impressive. I guess like first game jitters, first half or whatever. Gotta get that out of you. But then the second half, yeah, I could agree they took off with it and everything. But then it's a rain game too, so I would go with them. But it was just the first half that looked shaky for me, and then they took off with it. So that's why only reason I went with Ole Miss instead of Georgia.
Well, what about the Big 12? Who'd you have coming out Big 12 on top?
It's the Big 12, so I mean, they all didn't look crazy impressive. I mean, Arizona, you know what they did, but their defense didn't look solid. So I'm gonna say Kansas. They look pretty good, and I'm gonna say Kansas and Oklahoma State because Oklahoma State played the reigning national championships in what's it called FCS, and they didn't look like they struggled as much as Colorado struggled with, what was it, North Dakota State. So just saying.
We'll get to that later. I got Baylor. Baylor looked really good in the Big 12. So they were my favorite team to watch from the conference this week. What about the Big 10?
Probably Ohio State. They look the most impressive. Oh well, hold on. Yeah, I'll say Ohio State, and then I'll say, and then Penn State. Yeah.
You know it was definitely Penn State, man. Penn State all the way.
Ohio State looked good as well, but I mean, it is what it is.
Well, okay, so now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and get to the nitty-gritty. The best quarterback and the worst quarterback this week. Who do you have and why?
The best quarterback, probably Fafita. Man, we're crazy. And I'm going to give you two. Fafita and Cam Ward. Them two looked really good this past Saturday. The worst QB, man, that one's tough. Let me go to my slip real quick because I know I bet on one of this. Oh, you know what? It's the South Carolina QB.
Lenore
Yeah,
Sellers.
bro. Yeah, him and Klubnik.
I didn't even have Klubnik on my list. I don't think he was that bad.
I put him there just because I lost money on him, so that's why I'm just like he looked bad. But I mean he played Georgia too, so I can't put too much on him. But for sure, it's South Carolina's QB.
No, the best. I had 4 that I wanted to talk about. The 4 best. Fafita, obviously, because he's 19 of 31, 422 yards, 4 touchdowns. They win against New Mexico. Then you already know old faithful Kyle McCord at Syracuse, 27 for 39, 354, 4 touchdowns, and win against Ohio. Don't count that man out.
I
Do
forgot
not
he went
count.
to Syracuse.
Yeah. Cam Ward obviously flooded the swamp as we didn't think he was going to flood the swamp, but he did. 26 of 35, 385 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Old Faithful, again, Haynes King from Georgia Tech, 24 for 29, 275 yards, and 2 touchdowns as they beat Georgia State, their across the street rival. On the worst, obviously, North Sellers went 10 and 23, 114 yards, 0 touchdowns. They barely beat Old Dominion. SEC South Carolina barely beat Old Dominion.
Disappointing game, bro.
Connor Wigman from A&M, 12 of 30, 100 yards, and 2 interceptions.
Well, they played Notre Dame as well, but I mean, I put Klubnik in there. I give him a little bit of grace, but
TJ Finley, 18 of 31, 92 yards, 2 interceptions against Bama. That man should stop talking to the press about Bama. Now, with that being said, I know we had a discussion all on Twitter, me, you, and G, about Colorado. Okay, we got to get into this.
I was just watching.
Well, okay, so you were a bystander, okay? Better than last year, first game. Let me state my case, okay? And I won't
Go
take
ahead.
long on this because we got a lot of games to go through, okay? There's no better triple threat in the Big 12 than Shador, Travis, and Horn. There's no better triple threat, okay? Now, the trenches, I believe they stayed above water. Okay, I'll give you that. They stayed above water. The defensive line kept the running backs, not the quarterback, because the quarterback scrambled a lot. The defensive line held the running backs under 100 yards. Okay, the offensive line only gave up 1 sack, and you had a freshman left tackle that had a pretty solid game, around like 73 on his overall grade for the night. Right now, I think you really have to look at the coaching staff. The coaching choices weren't great in the first half. Running man defense, I don't know why you were running man and you were getting burnt all, first quarter. And then running 4th and 1, running a shotgun run. Get in the pocket, bro. I mean, not get in the pocket, but get under the center. Let's use these offensive linemen that we said were good, right? So I believe they were way better. And obviously, I don't think you understand how good North Dakota University has been. All right.
Glad you said that.
Because 2010, they beat Kansas 6-3. 2011, they beat Minnesota 37-24. 2012, Colorado State 22-7. 2013, Kansas State 24-21. 2014, Iowa State 34-13. In 2016, the number 13 ranked Iowa, they beat them 23-21. No one wants to schedule North Dakota State University because they know they have a chance to upset them. Colorado went out there, put their neck on the line, and when the blade came down to chop, they were out of there and they got the win. So you may say they played an FCS team and they should have done better, but it looks better. And Travis Hunter is an alien.
You got that off your chest? You good?
Yeah. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
First of all, cool. Yeah, they played FCS, a really good FCS team. But then you gotta look at Oklahoma State that played the reigning national championship from that FCS squad. The what are they? It's not North Dakota, but it's something else Dakota.
South Dakota.
South Dakota, and put up 44 to 20 and beat them. So what is the difference of them playing the reigning national champions and Colorado playing? They didn't even make it to the national championship this past year, I don't think.
They
But
lost
they
their
were either way, and they struggled as much as they did. And then you bring up all these people that they beat over the years. The last the ranked team they beat was 8 years ago. We're in
Nobody's want to
2024.
play them for 8 years.
No. It's 2024. No, we're not talking about 8 years ago. Their last person they beat number 20 Iowa Panhandle State or whatever. But Colorado looked exact same as they did last year. They beat a ranked TCU team, put up points, but also struggled on defense. Shedeur Sanders has more protection than he did last year so far. He got sacked once, like you said, but defense looked shaky. They couldn't run the ball. You're relying on Travis Hunter and what is his name, Horn, which is cool, but when it comes down to it, you need a balanced offense, and there was no balance. It was all Shedeur, Travis Hunter, and Horn, and that's all you have. And then your defense isn't stopping anything at all. So what really have we improved on? Like you said earlier, it's the off mic that their defensive line didn't look good. You can't win with all these transfers that you get in the trenches. They all are transfers. What is it? 45 transfers, and you barely squeak by. Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State.
We can't compare Oklahoma State
No,
to.
no, no.
You can't
They're both
compare
big.
that.
They're both Big 12 teams, aren't they?
Mike Gundy's been there for how many years? And Dion has been here for
And
that long. What do you
okay,
mean? Your
okay,
quarterback is 70 years old.
okay, but you have all these big expectations for Colorado since Dion got there. All this big talk of what they're gonna do with all these new transfers, and then you barely squeak by this team. And you know what? You don't look any better on the defense side of the ball, and you still can't run the ball. So what have we improved on besides maybe a little bit on the offensive line, which you really weren't tested that much because we're playing the FCS school. So what are we really talking about?
I feel that we just have to give grace, man. We have to give grace. He got handed a bad program. Last year, he went and won 4 games when nobody thought he was going to win anything. And then you scheduled one of the toughest teams in
Who didn't
FCS.
think he was gonna win anything? Who said that?
No, people didn't. Yeah, last year people didn't
Nah,
think they were going to
nah.
win anything.
Okay,
They didn't think they
so
were going to win over 2 games.
who was saying this? Well, as soon
That
as
was
Dion got
Vegas said that.
no,
The
no.
analysts said that. People
No,
online said that.
no.
TikTok said that. Twitter said that.
They was saying national championship off rip. That's
We
what they
knew
were
that. We knew, but come on, that's the hype. You know how the hype go. You know
okay.
how black people
And
are. You know how the hype go.
no, it's if it's all hype, then you gotta live up to it. You wanna even Dion coming in talking the way he talked, you gotta live up to that hype. And then you win 4 games last year. You beat a ranked TCU team. You get in the top 25, and then you shit the bed for most of the rest of the season. You barely squeak by your rival at Colorado State, and you come into this year, you barely squeak by North Dakota State. What are we really talking about? You haven't improved much. So what are we really talking about?
No,
Until
well,
they play, who are they playing next week?
to the test will come next week. We play Nebraska, and
Okay.
they have a better quarterback. Raiola, he's a freshman. They got a great defense. So we'll see if we pass that test. I need you to come back on here, okay? I need you to come back on here and be like, all right,
And I was on record
progress.
saying Nebraska dropping 40, so I don't care.
40 is insane, but okay. We'll move forward because we spent a lot of time on this, and I just give Colorado grace. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be okay. Now we got to go to our home state school, Texas, right? Texas versus Colorado State. Texas put on an absolute show, but however, it was a slow start, kind of. But Texas has so many weapons, James. They got Ryan Wingo, they got Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden, Jatante Cook. So the main thing we were worried about was their defense, right? Because they lost a lot of guys in the draft. But as I can say, Alfred Collins, Anthony Hill, Colin Simmons, the freshman, they held Colorado to 194 yards total. And Texas is back. I believe Texas is back.
I didn't watch the first half of this game. I think I watched a little bit of the second and then like the beginning of the third, and then until they put in Archie and stuff. So I can't speak too much of from about the game, but from what I saw, yeah, they look pretty solid. It looks like just a pickup year from coming off of last year and everything. Quentin Ewers looked really good. Wait, it's not him. His name's not Quentin.
Yeah, it's Quinn.
Quinn, yeah. I was like, why did I say
You tried to
Quentin?
make a black. You tried to make a black.
As soon as I said that, I said that doesn't sound right at all. But anyway, he looked really solid. And then, Isaiah Vaughn looked good. What's his name? Blue. He didn't look too hot, but I know it's something to work on. I think he like soon as he got kind of knocked out of the game, they kind of took out all their starters, so he might have picked it up in the later half. But they sat everybody and brought in Manning in the second team and stuff. So they look good, man. I don't have anything bad to say. They shut out Colorado State, so we're gonna see how good they are, how good the defense is next week. Well, I say that, but we'll get into Michigan later on down the line. But it'll be somewhat of a test next week, and we'll really see like what they're bringing to the table this year and stuff. But for the most part, they look good. So that's not much, but that's all I got.
Was Archie impressive to you?
Yeah, I think that first drive he scored. He threw that crazy touchdown pass, and then he ran one in. He looked solid. He made good decisions. I think it was one play that he made like a bad throw. It was just he was trying to squeeze something in and it didn't happen. He didn't throw a pick or anything, but it was just kind of just what, fuck it, and threw it in there. and that was only like the only thing that I can say that was kind of bad when he was in there, but he looked pretty good.
Yeah, the Russian game was kind of off. There's a lot of injuries that's happened to the Texas roster, but Jaden Blue and Jarrett Gibson, they both did have 10 carries, so they kind of shared the load last night on the running game. So we'll see how that goes with the season coming forward. In Colorado State, man, nobody offered Brandon Flowers $600K with that performance. I promise you, nobody offered that guy $600K. And I believe Torrey Holden should have transferred for sure.
The only bright spot was the running back Mitchell. He rushed for over 100 yards, but it was an ugly 100, but he still rushed for it. But other than that, they didn't look good. They looked, I don't even know. I don't want to say like just trash, but they played Texas, but they didn't look really good at all.
Understood. Well, we'll see what Texas does in the SEC. Can't wait till next week. They go to Michigan. The defending national champions who didn't look so hot yesterday. And we'll see what they can do up there. It's a road game. See if we can travel well. And I'm excited. But we got to go to the East, right? We got to go to the Dome.
Wait, do you want to just get into that Michigan little bit real quick?
Yeah, let's tap into it. Absolutely trash.
Because I was watching this game and I thought I was tripping, but they didn't look good at all.
You want to know what it is, James? In the off season, they planned their whole construction of transfers they were going to get in, offense they were going to run against the I can't even remember his name. He's so bad. The quarterback.
Yeah, the running quarterback that they had. Yeah.
They planned their whole game plan around him. Buddy can't throw the ball.
No.
Buddy can't, when I mean he can't throw the ball, it's not in his DNA to throw the ball at all.
Only time that he looked good to me is when they're running the option. And that was like a few plays that they ran. But other than that, like you said, he can't throw the ball. He barely throw it 20 yards down the field. I thought they were going to lose a game at one point because they were just playing horrendous. If it wasn't for their defense, I don't know. We might be talking about something different this week. But either way, they dropped, what was it, 30-10 or whatever. But they didn't score any of those points till like the later half. I want to say close to the fourth or something like that. But yeah, Michigan was not impressive at all. So that's why I said I don't know if how much of a test it'll be going into next week against Texas or a test for Texas or not because of how they played this week. And I'll get into it about first game things later on down the show, but I don't know. I don't know if it's just, we got to work out the Kings, we got a new quarterback and all this other stuff, or is Michigan just about to fall by the wayside and, you know, shit the bed this year?
I think they're going to shit the bed. The quarterback, Alex Orji, right? I
Mhm.
had a lot of hype for him. They wanted to, like, get the transfers in so he can run the Wildcat, right? And
Yeah.
throw some short throws, kind of like a bubble, short screens, you know what I mean? Didn't work out at all. I mean, absolutely. He only had 2 passing attempts, and coach was like, "Yeah, I can't do this. Get him out. Get him out the game." They put Darren Warren in. He went 15 for 25, 118 yards. But I mean, on receiving, you had the longest pass you had was 21 yards the whole night. That tells you a lot about your quarterback room and your wide receiver room. Like, you couldn't get separation. You couldn't really move the ball like you wanted to through the air. I mean, on the ground, your running back only went 15 carries, 92 yards. The longest run he had was 21 yards. So you really didn't have any explosive plays, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Michigan may even make the playoffs with
Yeah,
no
that's what
quarterback.
I'm thinking.
Listen, if you don't have a quarterback in 2024, you're not making a 12-team playoff. Your defense is not going to get you through. There's too
Yeah.
many. There's too many teams that have great quarterbacks this year, and maybe average defense that can get them there. But if
Hmm.
you don't have a playmaker that's handling the ball 90% on offense, you're not making the playoffs
Ryan Day's job is safe.
for now. For
They're
now.
about to beat the shit out of Michigan.
For now. I'm hoping, but for now, you feel me?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So we'll see how Texas does when they go up north to Michigan. But I wanted to talk about the team in the East, right?
Mm.
The Bulldogs. The one that told Clemson to come to the dome, the Mercedes Benz dome,
Yeah.
and let's duke it out. And overall, it was a close game. First half.
Yeah.
You know,
It was. Yeah. I watched that game completely, and I thought Clemson was hanging in there for the most part, and then they couldn't score the ball, and then Georgia found their footing and ran away with it and stuff. We were talking off Mike and everything, and Klubnik, he doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. You want to talk about freshman receivers down the line, but what's his name? TJ Moore or whatever. I think that's his name. He had
yeah.
one catch for 7 yards and not the best, but I mean again he's a freshman, but we had these other freshmen showing out the same week. So I don't know, but I think Clemson will be okay. They play in the ACC. The only one I see in the ACC that really gives them anything right now, as of right now, there could be some teams that pick it up later on, is Miami. And I don't know. And I think Miami will dog walk them, to be honest, the way Miami looks. So we're just gonna have to see. But yeah, I mean, Georgia looked good. They, like I said, they stumbled a little bit in the first half. They again just trying to get your footing. His first game of the season. You're playing a ranked team, and then they just took off with it. They looked like the number one team in the nation. Solid defense. Beck looked good. It was all around real good, except for the first half. So I think they'll be just fine going into the SEC play.
Carson Beck looks scary, man. That
Yeah,
defense looks 2022 to 21 like caliber. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He's got a lot of weapons he can throw to. A wide receiver room full of potential. You got Dylan Bell, Kobe Young, Smith, and then you got the transfer of Humphreys. That's basically like a Wes Welker out there in the slot. You know what I mean? So, and also who I was impressed with Georgia was the freshman running back because Trevor Etienne got suspended for this game because of
Yeah.
the DUI that he got in the offseason. But Frazier, 11 carries, 83 yards, 1 touchdown. I think he had like 25, 26 yards receiving also. So that was impressive to me, right? I don't think Georgia's going to struggle with anybody. I'm kind of scared that Bama has to play them this year, like in the regular season. Like
Yeah.
that's going to be scary. Now we need to get on your boy Dabo though. We need to get on
Hey, I
Dabo's
was
ass.
I was gonna say, I don't know how much Dabo has left in them, bro. If they have like a losing season, or not even like a losing season, but just a subpar season, I don't see how he keeps his job, to be honest. Like he doesn't want to go get, transfers. He wants to stick to his old ways and everything, and you know how he goes. I don't know how much Clemson can take after winning for so long. And if you have this season that's just subpar, I don't know, Dabo. Should look kind of shaky.
Bro, the last wide receiver that Dabo has had that's had over 1,000 yards is Amari Rodgers in 2020.
Yeah,
And
I don't
since
know.
2020, you haven't had a wide receiver go over 1,000 yards. Mind you, you've had Trey Higgins, and he didn't go over 1,000 yards. Dabo's done, and I may get a lot of heat for this take, but I'm going to tell you why Dabo's done. Dabo's done because it's not only the transfer portal, right? It's him not willing to adapt of playing the best players on your team let me restate that. It's his willing not to adapt, but it's also his willingness not to recruit the top tier if he's not going to use the transfer portal, right? If you're
Yeah,
not going to use the transfer portal, you need to have a Georgia class. You can't have a top 10 class. You got to have a top 3 class because then you get those athletes that can start for you day one, right?
yeah.
Can take 4 or 5 games to get into your system or can come early in the offseason and work out. Clemson doesn't have that. They don't have a quarterback. We thought DJU was bad. Klubnik was horrible.
Wait. Off mic, you were saying Clemson wasn't that bad. It could have just been Georgia. You recanting that now?
Yeah, because I looked at the stats and I looked at the review, right? And I'll tell you why I reversed it. I'm on every team, on every reporter, on every person who's inside the program. When I was looking at reports on Klubnik this offseason, they said Klubnik is way better. He's progressed. He's taken a step forward, right? He's doing well. I understand it's Georgia's defense. Let me throw that out there. Never schedule Georgia in Georgia week 1. That was the first mistake. Let's blame that on the athletic director, okay? But 2, if you are going to play Georgia in Georgia, make sure your quarterback's ready. Make sure you have a primetime quarterback ready. If Cade wasn't ready last year, if during the offseason you feel like, hey, maybe Cade won't really take that step forward, you should have been in the transfer portal. You should have got a transfer quarterback, right? I'm pretty sure that Will Howard might look good at Clemson, right? I'm pretty sure that maybe McLeod that went to Texas State kind of would have looked good he was in James Madison and went to Texas State. I'm pretty sure that he would have looked good in Clemson, right? He's athletic. But this whole thing of I'm just gonna stick with my guys, we're just gonna rock it out, we're just gonna learn as a young team. The leash is short, man. The leash is short, James. And I mean, when I mean short, I'm talking Chihuahua short. I'm not talking German Shepherd short. I'm talking the leash is Chihuahua short.
Yeah.
And he's done. It's over with. Saban needs to go ahead and get him a seat right next to him. Go ahead and replace Pat McAfee on the game day. I think that's good. That's where he needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. like I said, if it's anything besides a playoff berth, mediocre, not making the playoffs, yeah, he's done.
It is over with, right? Now, then we're done with that, right? Because Clemson goes on to play Appalachian State next week, and Georgia goes to play a FCS team. They got their non-conference game out the way. Now they go play an FCS team, stack up their stats.
Yeah.
We had a fight in the swamp. Well, we thought we had a fight in the
I
swamp.
was gonna
Right?
say what fight?
I was told that the swamp was going to be so loud that Cam Ward wasn't going to be able to hear the communications for the players. I was told the Florida Gators had the best defensive line. They had a 6'5", 438-pound dude that nobody was going to be able to run between the A gaps. Okay. I was told that Graham Mertz was going to be a Heisman front runner because of the year that he had last year. I was told that everything was fixed in Florida. Billy Napier had fixed it. They went down there and they had a backup quarterback, DJ Lagway, that if needed wasn't going to be needed. He was going to get to have development in his first year, and he was going to be good. I'm gonna just tell you like Kendrick told Drake, you lied about your defensive line, okay? You lied about your quarterback. You lied about your offensive line that was better than last year. You lied that you said the swamp would cause havoc. You lied and you said your coach had it all figured out in year 3. Florida Gators, I didn't expect much of you, but holy shit. You got blown out at home.
Man, I'm a Cam Ward looked like he was just having a day out in the park, bro. Just
I don't like
slinging it.
that. I didn't like his demeanor. I'm gonna let you know that off top. I didn't like it.
What,
Because it was too cool and relaxed to me.
bro?
Because I'm
Like,
like,
what do you want him to do? Like, he was just chill. Like, all right, here you go. You want a touchdown, bro? I got
that
you.
first that first
Here you
pick
go. You want a
on
touchdown?
Friday, I was just like, come on, bro. Like, come on. And I didn't even have money on the game. So first of all, if I didn't have money on the game, and I didn't even like your demeanor, but they played a hell of a
What
game.
I don't know what you want from him. I mean, he's cool, calm, and collective. He don't have to have all this emotion coming out of him. Did you not see him throw that touchdown in the back of the end zone? He was already on the sidelines with his helmet off, like, yeah, I'm that guy. And I was like, yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I just after that, I believe it. He doesn't have to, be showboating and having all this emotion and yelling and stuff. He can just go out there, sling the ball, do his thing, and go home and chill out. It and that's what he did. Went out, showed out in Florida again, like you said about the what's called the defensive line, they didn't run the ball well. The what's his name, Martinez, he
Damian
only had
Martinez.
he only had 42 yards rushing, but at the same time, Cam Ward put it on his back, and they dog walk Florida. Now Florida, man, I I was expecting somewhat of a close game, and yeah, I don't even have a lot to say to them. If they struggle this much against Miami, I don't even want to see what happens in the SEC to them, bro. I'll go ahead and do this right now because I was gonna wait till later in the show. But is Florida only winning 2 games this year?
Florida's only winning 2 games this year. Yeah. You're not wrong. Florida is only winning 2 games this year, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you which 2 games they're gonna win. Next week they play Sanford. They're starting the first win. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M losing. Mississippi State losing. UCF lose. Tennessee losing. Kentucky losing. November Georgia losing. Texas losing. LSU losing. Ole Miss losing. You know what game they're gonna win? Against Florida State, the last game of the year. They're gonna go
Okay.
2-10.
I was picking
Or
Kentucky
2-10.
instead of Florida State, but hey, either way.
James, it's my thing is right. The fans and I've been in the message boards, right? I've been in the Gators message boards. Everyone's mad that they were told that we were going to be way competitive, right? They're mad that they were told and they donate their money to the NIL and Billy Napier said, hey, we're going to be really competitive this year. We're going to get it done. Even if we do lose a game, you're not going to be like, damn, we lost, we got blew out. It's going to be like we lost in a field goal or it went into overtime, right? And a lot of fans, like, I could have had respect for that. Like, Miami was a great team. If we would have went, like, bar for bar with Miami, I could have respected that and we could have moved on because we already knew what the season was going to look like. We already knew what the schedule was going to look like. Cam Ward went in there through 365 yards. I'm sorry, 385 yards, 3 touchdowns. Restrepo, 7 catches, 112 yards. Yeah, bro. And to get this, Miami's best defensive lineman was out in the first couple of plays. Reuben Bain Jr., he got injured. But you know what? You know what happened? They went in the transfer portal this offseason. They got Tyler Barron from Tennessee, who was an all-star in Tennessee, off the edge. And guess what? Graham Mertz is absolutely trash, bro. 11 for 20, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. Piss poor.
Well, he got knocked out the game too.
Yeah, he got knocked because he couldn't take that heat. It's 125 degrees on the field, and you can't move the ball. And the boys on the other side are not huffing and puffing. They are ready. All that smack you talk, the swamp is going crazy. The bad thing about it is you had over 25, 30 recruits sitting in the touchdown section. Miami scored in that touchdown section repeatedly. And then after the game, after the game, told them boys, come to the U. We run Florida. Come to the U. It don't get any, it don't get worse than that, man. It really doesn't.
They're saying Billy Napier, the coach from Bishop Sycamore.
Even worse. At least the coach from Sycamore, at least he can stick to character. Billy Napier is just robbing people out here, just blind. So I don't even think he's on a hot seat. He's got a boarding pass. He's just waiting. He's on standby.
Yeah,
he's on standby. But here's
you
the
think
thing:
you think he makes it to the end of the season?
No.
I'm
telling you right now, if Florida, I'm going to tell you the game that they have to win, James. They have to win Mississippi State. That is at the end of the month, on the 21st. If they lose that game, it's over with. Don't even. And he has to make a decision. Are you going to put Mertz out there, or are you going to put your freshman quarterback in Lagway and just take the growing pains and hope you can win some games with the defense that was so good, right?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? That's another tough decision you got to make this morning. I'm going to tell you what I would do. I would be packing my bags and getting the fuck out of Gainesville. Sorry for my language. I would get the hell out of Gainesville because there's no way. And DJ Lagway is going to be the starting quarterback for Texas A&M next year because the way their shit is looking is even worse.
They didn't look that bad, bro.
Who? Who didn't look bad?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M look bad, bro.
Texas A&M.
They look bad, bro.
They look that bad, bro.
Look.
All right.
Well, you know what?
Anywho,
We're going to end that. We're going to end that. But I'm going to tell you who look good. Yeah, you going to hate this. But them Bama boys,
anyway,
that DeBoer era is here. You feel me? James, you know how many passes my quarterback threw for? Seven passes. Well, 9 passes. Completed 7, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. 10 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns total. James, my offensive line is looking good, but Tyler Proctor got hurt in warm-ups, starting left tackle. So that's not a good look. But let me just say, man, the DeBoer era is here, man. Very explosive. The defense is flying around. Young cats on the defense got some reps in. You know, the defense was kind of shaky in the beginning because Western Kentucky was putting some drives together, but they couldn't finish them. Bama's defense was holding up. So Wambach is worth what he's getting paid. All right. And finally, we are getting Jalen Miro design runs on first down. We're not getting these pass-off zone reads. We're getting straight down to the nitty-gritty, put my quarterback's body on the line, and let him get his yards. You feel me? He's a machine. My boy got dreads, Boy got locks. He got an arm sleeve. He got a leg sleeve, and he got a headband. Michael Penix, who? You feel me?
Okay, relax a little bit. Y'all played Western Kentucky.
Nah. Don't take that. You don't take that. Y'all said Bama was losing the standard.
Who said that?
James, listen. The world. It's Bama against the world at this point.
I haven't said anything bad about Bama. I want just wait want to I'm waiting to see what they look like going into the SEC because they're gonna get past these type of teams and stuff. But once we get into SEC play, that's where I will like dig into what Alabama's looking like. So yeah, they look good on offense and defense and everything. But also it is Western Kentucky and no shade to them, a little bit of shade, but you're Western Kentucky. I'm sorry. You played Alabama. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad you said that about Milrow, that he's actually getting design runs for himself. I think that's gonna open up a lot of other offense that way. Incorporating that into their offense and stuff, it's gonna do dividends going down the line in the season and everything. The receivers look solid, offense, defense, and the offense line that got hurt. That's in the moments it's crazy, but I mean that's football, so anything can happen. But yeah, I don't have a lot to say because I didn't watch this game because it was I knew they were gonna dog walk them, but from the highlights that I saw, yeah, they look solid. They look
Did
really
you see
good.
Hollywood? In the highlights? Did you see Hollywood? That's our freshman. That's our freshman.
I was gonna bring this up later on in the show,
The
but
freshman segment. Okay, yeah, he
yeah,
looked
yeah,
good.
but yeah, he looked good too. But yep,
We got 2 weeks. 2 weeks to Georgia. We
yeah,
got UCF next week. We got to go up north to Wisconsin, and then we got Georgia at the crib.
that's when I'll put my 2 cents in about Alabama.
Hey, I for the love of God, I hope Georgia come down and win, and put some adversity on us early in the season. That way, when we get to the playoffs, we've been here before. But if they win against Georgia at the crib and put them boys in a pickle, somebody needs to tell Nick Saban to scoot over. You feel me? And just scoot a little bit over, to the right, just a little, not too much. You feel me? Don't
In the
want to
first
step,
year,
but yeah, just scoot over a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little
okay,
bit. But yeah, man. But yeah, that was a good game. But we'll go ahead and talk about the primetime game. You had a Texas A&M and Notre Dame, right? In Kyle Field, in front of 100,000 people. I just want to let the fans know I have nothing against Texas A&M. I just think y'all are a cult, but that's just what it is. Okay,
bro. Have you ever been to College Station to their
I
fan?
I've
Bro,
been
it's
to a yell.
crazy.
I've been to one of those yell things. I had a
Yeah,
friend whose family wanted him to go to Texas A&M to play football. I've been to one of the yell things. That shit is insane. I felt out of place because one, I was black. I was like, don't think
yeah,
I should be here with people yelling like this. And two, I was like, nah, this is a cult for sure. My wife
bro.
watches a lot of cult shows, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Texas A&M right there for sure.
I'm glad you felt that because that's what I felt when I went down there. Me and G went over there a few years ago to hang out with a friend, and we walked the campus and the stadium and stuff, and they have that section of like the ROTC people and stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, man, that I get military, but that was like I don't know, kind of cultish. I don't know.
Okay, bro.
Weird.
I'm
But
saying,
anyway,
man. But Texas A&M is one of those teams that they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a consistent quarterback. I can say now. I can say that they played against a great defense, right? Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman, they're a great defense. So maybe the first game jitters, new coach Mike Elko, maybe it just wasn't their day. But I don't know, man. It didn't look nice at all.
what did you say about Notre Dame? Because it was 6-6 going into the third or the fourth. I can't remember exactly. So it was a
I
close game. So what are you saying that's bad?
what I got from Notre Dame is I expected Notre Dame to be the way it was because they've never had a wide receiver, right? They hadn't had a great wide receiver to throw to. Now they bring in Riley Leonard, right? And he's more of a run type, right? And he's really good at avoiding pressure in the pocket. Like, if he can translate that to the NFL, I don't think he'll ever get sacked. Like, because he didn't get sacked last night, and they put a lot of pressure on him, especially because they had three new offensive linemen who only had like 6 starts, right? And three of them, well, two of them only had 6 starts, and three of them were freshmen. So the whole offensive lineman was new, never really played, and they had to go against a pretty good defensive line from Texas A&M until we got to that fourth quarter, and that Texas Heat started really showing who's boss and who's not, right? So Notre Dame, what I got from Notre Dame is what I expected. What I got from Texas A&M is you're the same.
Okay.
You're the same. You don't have a quarterback. Your running game is not spectacular. Your receivers, who I don't think anybody was afraid of a deep shot from Texas A&M wide receivers last night, especially with Notre Dame's two of their safeties are NFL ready already. So I expected more from Texas A&M. I expected Mike Elko to have some creativity, or their offensive coordinator to have some creativity for them to make it a game, right? Well, to make it a out of reach game, especially with that crowd. So I was disappointed at Texas A&M.
Okay. I was just curious because I mean I can agree with that. The quarterback play wasn't great. The running game wasn't great, but at the same time, they kept it close through most of the game, and that's why I just wanted to get your take on Notre Dame because to me, I feel like if you play that close to the number 7 team in the nation, you should get some type of kudos to that. But after you break it down that way, I can agree with that. I think going down the line, they may get a little bit more creative with their type of play calling and stuff, just because when they did get some motion and scored and stuff, it looked good. So that they just had to push the ball like and run it well. And if you can't just do that up front, you just gotta get something crazy and just start doing some, like for example, like Oregon, that type of play and stuff. If they can incorporate like some bubble screens and RPOs and stuff like that, I think they can be a threat. But that's if they want to grow and be that type of team to get it to your playmakers and have some type of explosive plays, because there wasn't a lot of explosive plays on both sides of the ball as well. Notre
Yeah.
Dame didn't have a lot either, so I think if A&M can go, maybe it's just a growing pain and they change up the playbook a little bit and incorporate some type of movement, like just switch it up, get creative like you said, and maybe they have a shot of like making some noise. But if it's just this again, then yeah, it's same old Texas A&M.
They should have just kept Jimbo Fisher. At
Yeah,
least it
at
would
this
have
point,
put
yeah,
less bread. You feel me? Like, because he
yeah,
definitely ran off with a bag.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, overall, I like Notre Dame. I think the team that matchup told me who's going to make the 12-team playoff. To be honest with you, with the schedule that they
Oh,
have,
oh, you
yeah,
think so?
yeah, I think Notre Dame will make the 12-team playoff. I don't think Texas A&M will, for sure. And I know you got a question at the end of the show about Texas A&M versus somebody. We'll get to that.
Okay, hold on. I'm looking at Notre Dame's schedule right now. So Northern Illinois is next week, Purdue, Miami, Ohio, Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, Army, and USC.
They're favorite in every game. Who are they not favored against?
No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
there's not a much of a challenge here. So
yeah, right. Yeah,
so I hate to say that. I mean, for me, like if I was what's it called on the committee and stuff, and I look at Notre Dame's schedule, you beat Texas A&M, but you don't play anybody until USC. And maybe I was about, hold on, hold on, hold on. I was about to get to it. maybe Georgia Tech because Georgia Tech's looking good. And if Florida State figures out what the hell they're doing, then maybe Florida State picks it up. But other than that, you don't see anybody until USC. And I'm gonna go ahead and just throw Georgia Tech in there already because they already look good. Florida State's the question mark because of just how they played against Georgia Tech. But other than that, you're not seeing anyone that's super like a threat to you. So if I'm the committee, I'm kind of looking at that like, how good is Notre Dame? You know what I mean? Did
Well,
that make
they
sense?
get a spot. They don't get a bye. They just get a spot because they'll be the highest ranked independent team,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're kind of like a part of the ACC, kind of. So they'll get a spot. But on the contrary, Texas A&M, like I said, because of the schedules, I think Notre Dame, if they won this game, they were going to make it. Texas A&M plays McNeese next, FCS team. That's a win. Florida, Bowling Green, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi State, LSU, South Carolina, New Mexico State, Auburn, and Texas.
So on that, I think, well, we'll see, but I can see them beating Missouri on paper. I can see it happening, but Missouri also look good. It's just one of those games where things could just happen. You know what I mean? And I think it's one of those games that shit can just go wrong for Missouri, and A&M runs away with it. But the next game that we'll talk about, I'll bring it up later on, like you said. But yeah, and then I can see them also beating Auburn. And South Carolina, they didn't look good at all. So I see them beating South Carolina. And LSU, I haven't seen anything from LSU yet because we're recording on a Sunday. They play later on today. So I'll have something to say about them next week. But at Mississippi State, I don't know. That's a toss up. I couldn't tell you. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
the best you're going to get is 6-6. That's the best
Six
I'm
and
getting.
six.
6-6.
Okay.
Barely bowl eligible, barely enough to keep Mike Elko, the boosters, a little bit happy. They may not give so much change, but they'll sprinkle a few dollars. But that's about it.
I I feel like they'll go over. They'll win. I mean, they'll have a winning season. They're not just gonna break even. It's gonna be maybe like what
Like 8-4.
8-4, maybe 7-5. I don't
You
know.
have a lot of
It's
hope in Connor Wigman. I do
no,
not.
no, no. It's not that. It's just the people they play going down the line. I just feel like they can, just catch somebody slipping and everything. And this is not me trying to be this fucking caper for A&M. I just can see some people slip up some weeks, and some of these games I can see people slipping up. You know what I mean?
He's a part of the code.
That's crazy. Nah, but anyway.
We gotta go. We gotta put a pin in that, and we gotta go to your favorite player of all time, man. Pulled off something that no one thought that they could pull off. The last team in the SEC on everybody's polls, Vanderbilt, beat Virginia Tech in overtime. Virginia Tech, ACC preseason top 3 team. James, what happened?
Vanderbilt came to play, bro. I was watching this game and I was so confused with what the hell was going on. You mentioned it off mic when the games were going on that you forgot Pafia like went to Vanderbilt. And when you said that, I said, I don't even know who this cat is. I don't know what he's talking about. And then I was watching him. I said, oh shit, this guy, he's kind of good because he rushed for like 100 something yards and then he threw for like 200 to 300 or something like that. He looked electric. And then drones, that first half, it looked kind of shaky, but it did not look good. But then second half, he picked it up, and I was like, okay, so this is the Virginia Tech we're supposed to see. But at that point, Vanderbilt already has all the confidence in the world, so Vanderbilt was running away with it, and just they was going back and forth at that point. And Vanderbilt's defense does not look bad at all. I was kind of surprised by it. Like you said, last team that anybody expects from the SEC to even make any type of noise. I didn't expect that from Vanderbilt. I thought it was Virginia Tech 60-0 blowout, but they lose in overtime. Droner comes in looking shaky in the first half. If maybe they play the way they played in the second half, the first half, maybe we're talking about something different today. But Pavia and all them dudes at Vanderbilt, kudos to them because bro, they came out to play. Maybe I don't know if they play like this every week. I don't know. They may make some noise. I could be like just biased right now just because of the way they played against Virginia Tech, but we'll see. I like how the way Vanderbilt looked.
Pavia last year played for New Mexico State. No, New Mexico University. They went to South Carolina, beat South Carolina. I was a fan ever since then. Knew he was going to Vanderbilt. Didn't know how it was going to go. James, I don't think Vanderbilt has ever been competitive in the trenches against anybody.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah.
And they were competitive in the trenches. Like, there was warfare in the trenches. It wasn't them getting bombed. It was actual warfare. We were clicking and clacking in the trenches, and they were winning.
Mm-hmm.
They were running in touchdowns. They were finishing red zone drives. I was like, whoa. Like, all we needed was a quarterback and a couple of transfers. That's what we needed. I'm telling you, a quarterback gives a team hope. A quarterback gives a team hope. That is going to be the title of this episode. A quarterback gives a team hope. And a lot of teams don't have any hope after the week one.
I misspoke. So he threw for 190 and 2 touchdowns, but he rushed 26 carries for 104 yards and a tutty. So either way, he looked good. And Jones, he went 22 for 33, 322, 2 touchdowns and an interception. But like I said, the first half, he did not look the greatest. And I think it was like kind of like what we saying, who expected Vanderbilt to come out and play, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that's what kind of had them losing the end. So I think Virginia still makes the playoffs, but Vanderbilt could be making some noise in the SEC and sneak up on some people.
Now, I know we're going to get to the end. We got to do our hot takes, but let me just say this. Arizona, I'm watching you. I see you, Fafita. McMillan, I see you. That Heisman is yours, sir. Just keep putting up 400 yards a game. I see you.
Look like a prime Big 12 team. All offense, no defense.
Hey, same thing I said about Colorado. You know what I mean? Good offense, a little bit shaky on defense. Now we don't want to agree. That's crazy.
No. You're right. You're right. It's just Colorado's supposed to be this whole big ass team moving forward with all 200 transfers that they got, but boy shaky. I didn't see them putting up those type of numbers of the receiver, but hey,
you're right. Stick a pin in that. It's not like somebody didn't have 3 touchdowns. It's fine.
That's not like somebody caught 10 receptions for 304 and 4. So whatever.
Right.
Best receiver in the Big 12. Who knows? I don't know.
That's a bold take, but go ahead and hit me with your bold takes for the end of the episode.
Okay, so we're gonna have some hot takes, and some of y'all probably not gonna be happy with some of these, but whatever. So first one, A&M upsets Texas down the line.
You're crazy.
No, I'm asking you, bro.
Oh,
like, what do you mean? No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Say, you combing your hair too much today, bro. If you think Texas A&M, now look, A&M's gonna have a lot of time to get better, okay? But Texas is also gonna have a lot of time to get better. And if we look at what we saw from today, right? Texas is ready for SEC. A&M should probably consider themselves going back to the Big 12 to get some confidence. That's kind of how I look at it. Texas A&M is not going to be Texas at the end of the year. It's going to be a crazy environment. There are going to be some bad calls. I already know they're going to try to cheat Texas. We already know how that code is. You know what I mean? They got to win. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think Blue may run for like 135, 150 yards for sure.
Damn.
And we're sacking Wigman. We're sacking the hell out of Wigman. I'm calling it right now 4 sacks on Wigman at the end of the year.
All right. Okay. So, next. First game woes. and I want to get your takes from you. What you think? If it's just first game woes, or is it bad things that come through the season? Oregon wins 24-14 against Idaho. First game woes, or what we looking at?
First game woes had a couple of offensive linemen starters that were out. You got a new quarterback, you know, it's new wide receivers, so it's just first game woes. Defense looks solid though, so if
Okay.
you got a solid defense and an average offense, you can go to the 12-team playoffs. You can't win, but you can go to the 12-team playoffs.
All right. I'm just curious because it didn't look good. I mean, we got yards, but we didn't get a lot of touchdowns. So against Idaho, but whatever.
Can't
Anyway,
coach effort, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's true. First game was UCLA versus Hawaii. They won 16-13, but they are losing the whole game. Is it first game woes, or are we looking at a bad UCLA team going in the future?
I didn't I didn't expect UCLA to win the game either way. So I mean, you lose the defensive coordinator to USC, you get a new head coach, you got a whole new quarterback. I mean, you got a whole new system, really a whole new culture. I didn't expect UCLA to win a game this year. So for them to pull out the Hawaii, kudos to UCLA. So yeah, I don't woes. I guess first
Woes?
first game woes.
Okay. Texas Tech, they barely win in overtime, 52-51 against ACU. First game woes, or is it bad things and come for Tech?
Bad things are coming for Texas. Listen to me. Listen to me. I've been to Texas Tech. I've been to Abilene Christian. The physical, mind you, I've fought dudes from Abilene Christian and fought dudes from Texas Tech. James is a testimony to this. All right, there is no way, bro. There's no. We're talking about Texas Tech. We're talking about Red Raiders. We're talking about Lubbock. You feel me? You telling me Abilene Christian, who's taking 1 and 2 stars, maybe a 4-star from Midland, Odessa, and coming down there and whooping, making it a game? Y'all was shaking in y'all boots. People were scratching their Raider ass. They didn't know what was going on. You telling me that what was going on in Lubbock? Greg, you
Hey
should be
man.
ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of that team, Greg. Get it together. Have a meeting with them. Tell them that they cannot go drinking on Sunday and then go to class drunk. We need to get it together. So that's trouble in the waters.
Okay. Is it maybe it's just ACU's just that good this year?
Hell no. It's trouble in the waters.
I was just curious, man. I don't know. I was so confused when I saw the score of the game. I was like, what the hell is going on? I thought it was a blowout waiting to happen. And yeah, that didn't happen. Going back, Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt. First game woes, or bad things that come from Virginia Tech?
Woes. First game
Woes?
woes. They
Okay.
they underestimated Vanderbilt. They thought that a quarterback couldn't win them that Vanderbilt's quarterback couldn't win them the game, and they did. David Pavia went in there and won the game. Put his team on his back. Coach trusted him to do his job. Defense in the trenches came through. So I think it's just woes. I believe in drones. You feel me? I believe in
Yeah.
that team. The
Okay.
ACC is wide open too. I don't Miami. That's it. That's all the ACC's got is Miami and Syracuse. Shout out to the Qs. You feel me?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting Syracuse is in the ACC. Uh, Michigan, first game woes, or is it bad things that come playing Fresno State?
Listen, I want to say first game woes, James, but it's a whole revamped offensive line, a pretty stout defensive line that didn't look great. New coach. You got the NCAA violations holding over your head. It's bad things to come.
Back.
I don't see a bowl game, to be honest with you. If Penn State beats Michigan, yeah, wrap it up.
Yep, that's it. And I already went through this, but my last one was Florida wins 2 games this year, and you already said yeah to that. So that's really all I got for hot takes that I was going to ask about you. But we can go into these freshman receivers that you want to talk about, and then yeah.
Okay, Cam Coleman, Auburn, Ryan Williams, Alabama. Great. Okay, great receivers, put up great stats. That man at Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, NFL ready right now.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison, who?
They didn't skip a beat with the receiver, bro.
Marvin Harrison, who? Jeremiah Smith as a freshman is putting people on highlight reels, bro. He don't even have that great of a quarterback to throw to him. Will Howard is above average. He was looking like Kyle McCord the first half. You know what I mean? And then he finally got it together. They
Yeah.
don't have a great offensive line. The offensive line is shaky. Their defense is solid because they got a lot of returning players. Yeah, man. If Jeremiah Smith got to win them the game against Michigan, I'm going over on him for whatever touchdowns they got on sleeper, prize picks, on
Yeah.
underdog. It's over for him, bro.
Because
And don't get me wrong, Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman, and there were a couple of other freshman wide receivers. Even Cam Miller from Colorado, he had the first 2 touches of Colorado in the game. Great, right? No one's touching that man up north with the O on his
gotcha.
helmet.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson from Auburn, though, pair of freshman receivers. Auburn could be scary with these two going forward. But like you said, Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, man, he's something else as a freshman, bro. And that's not no shade to all these other receivers because Ryan Williams, crazy stats for Alabama, and Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson. But man, I don't know. I don't know what Ohio State's doing for receivers over there, bro. But they got one right there again. It's crazy. So
Spend a
let
lot of
me,
money, I can tell you that.
yeah, definitely. So for the receivers that I wrote down, Gimme was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and these are like the receivers that are like going into the season that people were talking about the most. I just want you to give me your rankings for them. So we got Cam Coleman, Auburn, Perry Thompson, Auburn, Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State, Ryan Wingo, Ryan Williams, and TJ Moore for Clemson.
I forgot about Wingo. I should have. Wingo had a really good game. Jeremiah Smith is first.
Okay.
Second, I'm going Cam Coleman. I think that if Auburn can find a quality quarterback to pass to those guys in their tenure, they might be able to win the Iron Bowl. Might. That's a big
Mm.
might. Maybe hit up DJ Lagway. I don't know. You know what I mean? Florida ain't
Yeah.
shit these days. So Coleman, I got Ryan Williams, the other guy from Auburn. What did you say his name was? Sorry.
Perry Thompson.
I got Perry. I got Wingo, and then I got Harris.
So let me just throw it back at you. So you got number 1, Jeremiah Smith. Number 2, Cam Coleman. Number 3, Ryan Williams. Number 4, Perry Thompson. Number 5, Ryan Wingo, and then 6, TJ Moore for these freshman. Oh, excuse me, freshman receivers.
Yes.
Okay. For me, yeah, definitely Jeremiah Smith number 1. Ryan Williams is number 2 for me actually, and then damn,
I just didn't
I've
see a
lost.
lot of production. We just got a lot of explosive plays for him,
Yeah.
which were great. But I just didn't, I want to see that like 7, 8 catches production. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Cam Coleman is number 3. Number 4 is Perry Thompson, and then 5 Wingo, and then 6 TJ Moore for me. I saw a lot with them Auburn receivers just as a pair. Like they looked really well, and I just want to see a little bit more from Ryan Wingo. And I mean he's a freshman, so he's gonna get some of his looks and his chances going forward. And I agree with Ryan Williams. He had like a lot of explosive plays, but I think it's a gem that Alabama has as a receiver right now going forward. And then TJ Moore, he just give him the ball. You're gonna Klubnik, if you want to moving forward, you got to give him the ball and see what happens. Because who else you gonna throw it to?
You got a quarterback with the last name Klubnik. Good
Hey,
luck.
bro, sorry, but you gotta do something. Gotta do something, and you got this freshman receiver that's really good out there. So TJ Moore out there somewhere. Just throw it to him, something, bro. Like, get your numbers up. But that's what I got.
Well, man, it was crazy week 1. I'm excited for week 2. I'm off too. I'm gonna get the full experience. I might even go have some nachos and just watch the game, drink a couple of beers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I'm ready for week 2. As you guys know, recording this Sunday, but episode's going to come out tomorrow, Monday. So Monday morning, you're listening to this. We appreciate you listening to the Over and Under podcast. Please, please, please subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the podcast, wherever you listen, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. I was just trying to get our followers up, trying to get our voices out there so you can hear our opinions. If you got any questions, please put them in the chat. I'm sorry, please put them in the comments. We'll answer the questions at the end of every podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube, tell a couple of friends, right? All the information on our socials are going to be in the bio of the podcast. So just go ahead and do that. Follow for us. James, you got anything else?
no, you hit all the points. Like you said, just subscribe to all of our channels, all the major podcast networks that we platforms that we're on, and just check us out. Keep hitting the numbers, running them up, and just putting our voices out there so we can bring in a bigger audience. So appreciate y'all for coming in every week.
All right, this is yours, Charles, Comer, and James on the Over and Under podcast. We are out.